My life 6 years ago compared to now. Now I wake up in the morning and I put on CoComelon for the girls and get breakfast and figure out what groceries we need to do that day and what bills need to be paid, and if I have gas in the car and what I'm going to cook for dinner, and if I have all the ingredients for dinner, and keeping the girls happy, and laundry, and all the stuff a normal wife and mom and adult does. Now, 6 years ago, my life was not like this at all. I would wake up. Home was freezing in the middle of winter, freezing because there was no heat where we lived in the abando in Detroit, and the windows were broken mostly, so it was very, very, very cold where we were. Waking up sick, very, very sick with withdrawals, and having to find out right away in the middle of cold and hunger and sickness what tasks we were going to do that day to find money or stuff we can trade for the drugs that we need. So we went out and we had our tasks we were doing, and at that time I had warrants, so we had to look out for police constantly. Make sure that there were no cops around, no cop cars. We were looking for undercovers. We were looking for people that thought we looked suspicious, so we were concealing and watching our every move, what we didn't do, and everything was calculated exactly how it should have been to be as inconspicuous as possible. When we were down in Detroit, I always had an open pocket knife on me. I had it in my coat pocket. It was always open. I had my hands in my coat on the handle just in case somebody came around and tried to rob us. I've been robbed before. I've been car stolen. I've had things happen in Detroit. I didn't really want to take chances like that again, so I walked around with an open pocket knife most of the day. Food wasn't like, what am I cooking for dinner? I hope I have the steak, or the ingredients I need to cook the steak. Like, it was mostly consist of one ramen noodle that we split together every day, a 35-cent ramen noodle, because every bit of our money that we spent was spent on drugs, not food. So I didn't have a real meal in over a month. I didn't know what warmth was. I didn't take a warm shower in 2 months. The water that we did have in one of the houses that we were allowed to come in once in a while was cold water. They did not have a hot water tank, so I had to take showers in the middle of winter with cold ass freaking water and wash my hair, have it be wet, and then go outside and have icicles hanging from my head. It was just a kind of mess. On top of that, I did not know at the time that I was very sick with MRSA, a blood staph infection that was shutting down my organs. So at the end of my homelessness stay, I was sleeping for a very, very long time. I'd go to sleep and I would wake up at 6 o'clock at night. Nobody knew what was wrong with me. It wasn't that I was on drugs I didn't even do drugs or anything yet that day. I was just sleeping that much because I was so sick. And it wasn't until I got to the hospital that they said my organs were shutting down. They didn't know if they could reverse it, and if I didn't go in when I did, I would have just died of the infection in my blood, poisoning and infecting all my organs. So I had to deal with that. So the things that I dealt with about 6 years ago are nowhere even close to the things that I deal with today. So when the car breaks down or we need a stupid repair and it's just an inconvenience, or we're out of milk and I have to run to the store, or just stupid stuff that seems to be happening lately, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why, all this, it seems to be one thing after another. I sometimes stop and think that my one thing after another now is completely different, in a whole different way of my problems that I had 6 years ago. 6 years ago, it was not knowing where food was going to come from, not knowing if I was going to have somebody with ill intentions coming and doing harm to me or hurting me or killing, whatever, or if we're going to get bad doses of things and overdose or arrested, or cops are going to come and we're going to get caught doing something. Like, those are the things that I worried about 6 years ago. So honestly, I'll take anything right now that life has to throw at us. I have some medical issues. We have some financial issues. We just have some things that everyday people and everyday adults in America right now are going through. And sometimes it's annoying to deal with, but I have to remember that I've been through worse. I've definitely survived worse, and I can get over way, way more than and simple things that are happening and going on and going wrong now. So keeping perspective and keeping hope and faith and knowing that you're stronger than you think you are is definitely something that I have to remember about myself.